This is that AEVs need tender love and care, and that you have to gently tighten their screws because if not, they'll cry and whine.
Hi, I'm Kristen Nemeth, and I'm the project manager.
I'm Greg Yonda, and I was the Arduino programmer.
I'm Catherine Snyder, and I'm the SolidWorks specialist.
I'm Angela Lauber, and I'm the document and logistics specialist.
Our project was to create an advanced energy vehicle, which is a small autonomous vehicle that will run on our classroom track. The vehicle had to go down to the train station, go a little bit further to pick up the caboose, and then go back to the train station with the caboose. We wanted to build the most energy efficient vehicle as possible, so we each came up with our own designs that we thought would be efficient. And then once we picked the best design, we coded that vehicle with our Arduino program to try and make it efficient with the weight of the vehicle itself. The goal of our project was not only to build an efficient vehicle, but also to work on our teamwork and documentation skills.
So for the initial design and sketches, we had each team member draw a specific design that they wanted for the AEV on the draft paper, and using some of the pieces that were given in the kits along with some of our own original pieces. It ended up that Kristen and Catherine went for a more lightweight vehicle, while Greg's vehicle was very simple, and mine had more aerodynamic qualities. When we rated these on certain criteria that we thought were important, such as aerodynamic qualities and weight and balance, along with easy maintenance, we found that all of them were very similar to the criteria value-wise, and so we weighted aerodynamics along with easy maintenance as more important than the others, and we found that Greg's simple design with the one plastic piece at the bottom was going to be the most efficient vehicle.
Once we chose an initial design, we made alterations to that design and came up with two concepts. We sketched those concepts in SolidWorks and then built them and tested them to see which would be the most energy efficient. It ended up that concept 1 was the most efficient, and that concept design included just the straight sheet of plastic and the 2 wings with the motors and propellers on them.
When programming the AEV, we first made an initial code to have the AEV run on the track and make one complete cycle. After our first complete cycle, we improved on the code to make the vehicle more energy efficient. Before the first test each day, we had to run a test on the AEV called a static test. The whole purpose of a static test is just to make sure the code is working fine and that the code was properly downloaded to the Arduino.
For the testing of the 2 designs as a whole, we programmed the Arduino code, put it on the Arduino, and then placed the 2 on the track after building both of the designs. After running it down the track once, we loaded the data and found that concept number 1, which is the raised propellers and then the single plastic piece, was the most efficient design.
My biggest problem with the SolidWorks designs was that the pieces wouldn't mate together properly sometimes because the plastic pieces that we were given in class are not perfect, and therefore the pieces in SolidWorks are not perfect, so not all of the holes would line up. The best way that I could fix this was just to make things differently than how one would usually do them in a perfect SolidWorks design.
The one problem I ran into coding the vehicle was after our 3rd or 4th run, the code stopped working and the AEV wouldn't reach the designated point. And after trying multiple times, we realized the track we were on was bent, which was causing the AEV to slow down before it needed to. So after trying multiple times and we weren't able to actually change the code to fix the run, we ended up just changing the track we were on, and our problem was actually resolved and we were able to go back to our old code.
One of the main problems that we had with our vehicle was the caboose not connecting. So what we did was we added 2 brackets here instead of 1 for a better surface area and a better connection.
An additional problem we had was as we were installing the vehicle, we had a broken wheel counter, but we didn't know that at first, so when we would static test the vehicle, the program would just keep running over and over again. When we kind of troubleshooted our problems, we realized that the wheel counter was faulty, and we just simply got a new one because there was no way to fix the old one.
Most important lesson I learned when programming the Arduino was that the best way to solve a problem most of the time is just through trial and error. If something wasn't working for the Arduino, I would go into the program and just mess around with a few little things and see if it started working.
The main thing that this project taught me is just how much work goes into an individual project. All of the documentation, all of the planning that will go into a project in the real world. This AEV project really gave that experience.
One of the things I learned in this project is that communication is huge. To make sure everybody shows up to meetings on time and knows what they're going to do for the documentation. Communication is a big part of a teamwork project.
What I learned from this project was that efficiency is difficult to achieve. Finding the balance between having the appropriate code and having the right weights, the ratio was difficult to get. After lots of trial and error, we finally got the number that we wanted of kilograms per joules, and that was an interesting experience to try to get to that point.
Reading is really important. If you don't know how to read, you can't read the directions, and then you do the wrong thing.
This project taught me that you need to stay out of the danger zone or you will get hit with an AEV.
I learned from this project not to put your fingers in the moving propeller, else you'll bleed all over the place.
The second most important lesson I learned was that Cody is a chill bra.